One of the most difficult part with the SpatStrument is to find the MPA controller that will match most of the spatial requirements. Ideally, the Spatial Modeler is designed to be linked to a free surface where you can put your fingers in the same manner that you will model the sound. But this is not possible with most of the MPA controller, even if they are excellent instruments. For instance, I have here a Strizo board, which I love because it has a wonderful pressure sensitivity. Here, to control the height of the sound, but of course I can also control its level. And you can go through all the nuances from pianissimo to fortissimo for each of the fingers. But controlling the space is another story. You can push each button forward, backward, but if you can also move it a little bit from side to side, the range is not enough to modulate the spatial size. Here, for instance, every sound begins in the middle of the space and stays in the middle of the space. The MPA spatial gestures associate the spatial modeler with some controllers, and if I cannot really push the sound from right to left, I can perhaps use the keys, the note numbers. It is not obvious to find the good setting because it depends a lot on the controller itself. For instance, here my finger puts the note a lot of too much to the right side, the right edge. I have no sound. I can push it to the right with a little less key control. And now, even if it is not what I wanted to do at first time, I can at least have the lower notes and the higher notes at different positions. But it is all I can hope for the Strizo board. Other controllers can present the same limit, but with nevertheless some means to bypass them. For instance, with the jouet. Its sensors are rather bad, but nevertheless I can slide my finger and I have also the pressure. The difficulty will be for the X size, which is apparently very narrow. But there is a possibility in the editor to activate a glissando feature, which means that you will be able to slide the finger between keys. It is also possible with the Strizo board, but the separated buttons made it difficult for spatial control. But here it is possible. It can hurt the fingers, and if you play more than one note, you will find that the sensors behave curiously, but nevertheless, the jouet can be used for this. If I take a look at the settings, I have activated the glissando and I have chosen 12 semitones. If I select a smaller value, this means that the spatial range will be wider. For instance, if I select 2 semitones, I send the settings to the jouet, and now you can see that on a single touch I have more range. Of course, when I will slide from one touch to another, it will be erratic. On the contrary, if I select a high value, for instance 48 semitones, it is what you can find by default on most MPA controllers, the result will be very narrow, about the same than with the Strizo board. And when I gliss from one note to another one, I will need a very large gesture to have a little effect. In any case, you will have to adjust 2 parameters. The parameter in your MPA controller and the parameter in the SpatStrument. The scaling allows you to reduce or enlarge the horizontal effect, which depends, of course, on the initial setting on the controller. And for the front-back position, you have also an scale setting. Which is simpler in general to set. An offset value in both settings, horizontal and front back, allows you to shift the default value according to your controller. But if controlling all the space with the fingers can be thought as an ideal for modeling the sound and the space, it can be also interesting to narrow on purpose its range. Here I will change and use my preferred Stencil morph. With this cover, I will have always the start point, which will be at the center of the space. And this central position can be shifted when I activate the X, Y, Z position, here with a fader and a joystick. This means that my spatial start point could be everywhere, and at this moment each of my fingers will be a shifter around my central position. Which can be another manner to play the space, which can be very interesting in itself.